They did. They did. They did. They did. I gotta wait on. It's always
Yeah,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Always
Yeah, I know.
like
Yeah.
treat me special. I'm Instagram.
Oh,
Best
Instagram. We
platform.
love him. Yeah, we can actually now see how we look on Instagram though, so that's cool. Thanks, StreamYard.
I know, right?
Yeah,
That's
we got some cool tools. Welcome into the night chat. Joseph is getting everything set up the way that we have to go live on multiple social platforms. Determines that you're going to sit here and listen to me ramble nonsense for a while. Shout out Tulane. They made the American Championship Conference Championship game. So um, I don't know how that's going to shake out because Tulane's the highest rated right now, and North Texas is their opponent. But then there's also James Madison. So like I don't really know what's going to happen
well.
with what the committee's going to do with the G5 stuff. But I just wanted to start something that we're probably not going to have time to get towards. And SMU missed the field goal. Congratulations, Duke.
Yep.
Congratulations, Duke.
I'll tell you this much, Drew. Now you talked about SMU, or you talked about JMU, and you talked about Duke, or not Duke, Tulane. There's a chance both of them could make the playoff.
Yeah.
Now that SMU has choked away their ACC title hopes.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Let's just talk about that game real quick because it's or not this game. I don't want to talk about Cal SMU because I didn't watch
me neither. Yeah, sure.
But like SMU literally just had a penalty collapse in like the last 15 seconds. Like they were inside the 40.
Yep.
And they had like a snap infraction, and then after the snap infraction, it just rolled downhill. So, like,
yeah, man,
it was just a disaster. That was just a disaster. That was like worst case scenario into the game for SMU. It could not have gotten any worse.
No, it couldn't have. I mean, and all they've got to do is like is beat Cal. But hey, Cal, very very interesting team this year. Cal determined the ACC. How about that?
Pretty much, yeah.
They beat Louisville. I mean, I know Louisville tailed off towards the end, but they beat Louisville and they beat SMU. And now we've got the College Football Playoff Committee has a mess on their hands to unravel, especially if Duke wins. I don't know if Duke's. I don't think. You know what? I'm not even going to try to predict that game. I mean, I think Virginia is better than Duke, but I also know that the ACC is weird. So
yeah, dude. I mean, like SMU is better than Cal, but they just lost.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami's better than Louisville, but they lost. Wake Forest isn't better than Virginia, but Virginia lost to Wake Forest. Like the ACC is just no one wants to play in the conference title game. These are the two teams that ended up in the conference title game, and it's Duke and Virginia. And I don't think they played this year in the regular season. So, well, no, they didn't. They didn't.
Hey, shout out Miami, by far the best team in the conference, who lost to the exact right opponents to make sure that they had the most difficult road to the ACC title game today, even with their demolishing of our favorite team, the Pitt Panthers. So, Joseph, the question is, with so many big games this week, and we really had we had 8 instead of we had 8 games instead of 4 this week. Where do you want to start? Where are we going? Are we going in Friday order?
I think
let people know the schedule. Okay, cool.
Let's start with Friday. So Friday, our first game was the Egg Bowl, which, to be honest with you, watching the Egg Bowl, it felt more like I was watching the Where's Lane Kiffin Going Bowl, because
that's all they talked about.
I'm going to be honest with you, like I love Lane, and I get it. He's the biggest name in the coaching market. I'm over this shit. Like I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't need, like, somebody send Marty Smith home. Send him home, dude. Like, we can just get a phone call from Lane. Well, like we get it, okay? He's either going to LSU or he's staying at Ole Miss. Can we just wait? Because the periodic check-ins with Marty standing outside the Ole Miss facility, I'm like, brother. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen this kind of coverage from a potential head coaching hire.
No, this is
And I'm like,
crazy. This is
yeah, it
and
just feels so extra, dude. It feels so unnecessary to me. Like, I get it. Lane's a huge name. He's done something that no other coach has ever done at Ole Miss, winning 10 or more, having 10 or more win seasons in a row. I just like, can we just give him some space?
yeah.
and like let him just text Pete Thamel and be like, "Hey, I made a decision."
Well, I hear you. I do. But I also think that Lane himself is kind of responsible for the madness that this situation has gotten to. They're asking him what he's going to do, and I think entertaining this scenario in the first place is what got Lane to this situation. I think him kind of just being like, no, no, no. And I get it. I do, because, his team is going to be competing in the college football playoff. I mean, that all of that's already been analyzed to death. Like, we don't need to hear that. But I do feel like when he does an interview right after the Egg Bowl and they ask him, hey, what's going on? And he's like, well, I don't know. I got to pray about it. Like, hey, that's cool, dude. But I mean, at a certain point, you got to know that every single person that watched the Egg Bowl, it's not a Mississippi State or Ole Miss fan, watched it for one reason and one reason alone. And when you come out and say it's going to be decided after the Egg Bowl, we need to hear at least a little something.
I get where you're coming from, but I'm a little torn on it, because in my opinion, like, I don't want to say I get where Lane's coming from, because I don't know what it's like to be a head coach. I don't know what it's like to have somebody sit a piece of paper in front of me that more or less would almost guarantee I'd get paid like $90 million. I don't know what that's like, but I do know that this is a massive decision.
Sure.
And ultimately, like, from what I've seen on social media, again, take that for what it is, because it's social media. It seems like the big hang up here is that he wants to take the LSU job, but he also wants to coach Ole Miss throughout the playoffs.
Right.
And I'm like, brother, you can't have it both ways.
Yep. I think you're right.
If you are attached enough to Ole Miss to want to stay and coach this team through the playoffs, then just stay at Ole Miss.
Yeah. And I think LSU wants that commitment. They want the get in the door now. Like start prepping for next year, which
they do.
Understandable. Like, they're giving you $90 million and they're paying. Like, they literally informed Brian Kelly that he was fired without cause intentionally. So now they have to pay. I mean, duh. But
yeah, they got to pay. There was no getting out of that buyout.
Right. No, they weren't. But I mean, now the chips are down. It's really Lane or bust for LSU. I mean, that's
if he decides to stay. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm pretty sure he's going to go. But if he decides to stay, LSU is so far behind the 8 ball in the coaching search now, because Florida's moved on. They're probably going to hire John Summerall. I know after the Iron Bowl, DJ Durkin's probably going to get some attention. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets the head coaching job, just because
he's
already in-house. Yeah. Well, he's already in-house. All the players already know him. The recruiting class coming in already knows him. So you have a minimal chance of losing, like, recruits coming in for next year. Like, it's a sense of continuity.
Yeah, you might keep some guys that are already on the roster too, which is I think is the biggest thing for Auburn, because like, you don't want a new regime comes in and then your Deuce Knight is already out the door. Now I don't know. Yeah. I don't know Deuce Knight like that. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know much about him. I'll be honest. I don't know if he's like the hometown kid. Like, who knows? But the point stands. It's going to be a super, super interesting, even more than it was, coaching cycle if Lane Kiffin decides to stay at Ole Miss, which, after the way that everything's gone down at LSU, and after watching what he's going to walk into, which it won't be what he walks into, because he's going to get 105 transfer portal players, but I just think that job's going to take some time to get where he wants it to go, to get LSU where they want to go. After watching that LSU Oklahoma game today, which is a game we're not really going to touch on, but I mean, LSU is devoid of pretty much all spark right now. Like, they don't have anything. They have a talented defense. And that's about the nicest thing that you can say about LSU. So
I'm going to be honest with you. I think the complete opposite. I think he could flip that roster in about 3 months.
Really?
I really do.
Okay.
I mean, I think if he can, because if he leaves, he's probably going to either get Trinidad Chambliss, if Trinidad can get another year of eligibility, or he's going to go with his OG guy, which was Austin Simmons, which he was planning on starting Austin Simmons at Ole Miss this year.
Right.
So there's your quarterback. You're going to have no shortage of being able to get weapons, because the the Winston Watkins, the receiver that they had that came to Ole Miss, he'll probably transfer. He'll probably go to LSU. Kwan Lacey, if he's got eligibility, he'll probably go to LSU too. So like at that point, your biggest thing is replacing like some defensive pieces, hiring a defensive coordinator, and then making sure you're good on the offensive and defensive line. Like I think it's different from him like pulling transfer guys to Ole Miss. The ability to pull transfer guys to LSU, I think will flip that roster in almost no time. So yeah, Matt, that's the report that I read, is that he's I think it was
he wants to go, but yeah, I saw the exact.
He wants to coach they're debating the whole like, can he coach Ole Miss in the playoffs? And if I'm Ole Miss, I'm telling him no. Like no, you cannot. If you go to LSU, you are LSU's head coach. You cannot coach this team from the moment you sign that contract. You are no longer the Ole Miss head coach, and we'll hand it to the OC of the DC and like we'll hand it to Pete Golding, and he'll be the interim head coach, and he'll coach these guys into the playoffs. Because if you don't want to stay, like I know you love the roster and you love these boys, but like if you don't want to stay here and be a part of history at Ole Miss, then bye. Then you're not going to, essentially.
Whatever.
So yeah, I mean, I don't mean to take a shot at Lane Kiffin, because again, this is an incredibly difficult decision, but like he's not going to get what he wants. He's not going to get to go to LSU and coach Ole Miss throughout the playoffs. So that's really what I think's left on the table. But as far as the game goes, that game play out kind of like you thought it was going to.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I didn't know. I didn't
33 yards on the ground.
Sure, and I mean, they
was incredible.
Yeah, they were the better team. They outclassed Mississippi State in almost every way. Fun. I didn't know Kamario Taylor was going to get his first start. I had no idea going into that game, to be honest with you. There were so many games to look over that I missed that. Yeah, he's really good. And like in a day where I've watched two running quarterbacks, Pavia and Ashton Daniels, Kamario Taylor is like twice the athlete that both of them are. So future's bright at QB1, at least in Starkville. I think the Jeff Levy era, is trending in the right direction, at least. So
yeah, he's really raw, but the talent's there.
Oh yeah.
So the question now with Kamario Taylor is just, can Jeff Levy and the staff keep him there? Because somebody's going to offer him a bag.
Highest rated recruit in school history.
And then also, can they round him into form?
Sure.
And what I mean by that is like, can they ascend him to what he's supposed to be, and not have him just be, he's our best athlete and he also just happens to play quarterback? Because I've seen a lot of teams like that where it's like, hey, our quarterback is just our best athlete, but he's not really like a quarterback. So that's what I want to see. I think he could. I'm not saying Kamario Taylor can't be that, but it's pretty clear watching him, he's far and away the best athlete on that Mississippi State roster. So
can we not DJ Lagway his development? That's pretty much.
Can they turn him into a quarterback?
Yeah, that's pretty much what
can they not?
Asking.
And where I'm thinking about is like Anthony Richardson.
Yeah.
Incredible athlete. Can you turn him into a quarterback? So I'm with you. I think they could get some good stuff out of him, because I think Jeff Levy knows what he's doing. But we'll just have to see. So I mean, I don't have a whole lot of thoughts on the game other than that. I mean, I picked Ole Miss because, like you said, they were the better team. The run defense for Mississippi State hadn't been good. They started Kamario Taylor because Mississippi State's looking to the future. No, they didn't make a bowl game. It would have been really nice to make a bowl game, but you went over your win total. If you're Mississippi State, I know Jeff Levy's not like happy about that, but it is year to year improvement from last year. Yeah, you were a couple plays away from being 7-5, beating Tennessee, beating Texas potentially. Like, you can see the steps in the right direction.
Big win. They were the worst SEC team I'd ever seen last year. Like, seriously, they were atrocious. So
they were bad last year.
Yeah. All right. Well, if we're going in chronological order, we now need to talk about clean old fashioned hate. I don't. I'm not. This game was really boring. Oh my goodness, this game was.
I'm going to be honest with you, man. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, I'm done. This game was boring. I hated watching clean old fashioned hate this year, and I normally love it. And and normally it's on Saturday, and I'm at my one of my grandparents for Thanksgiving, and
Yeah.
so it's it's kind of like what I look forward to, besides the game being on, the Michigan Ohio State.
Michigan, Ohio State.
Dude, putting in Mercedes-Benz, stupidest thing that's ever been done. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. It felt like an NFL game. It smelled like an NFL game, and nobody on this field, maybe besides Nate Frazier, played like an NFL player. So,
yeah, dude. You remember in the preview we talked about how does Georgia Tech stay in this game?
Yeah,
where it's like maybe Gunner just doesn't have his stuff.
Right.
He did not have it. 11 for 21 for 70 yards.
You did say that. You said Gunner hadn't had a stinker yet, and
he
70 yards in an opening drive pick where he just inexplicably forgets which jersey he's wearing. That'll do it.
They showed that, and I thought, well, maybe it got tipped, maybe lost and lucky, didn't run the right route. But when they showed it from behind the quarterback angle, I was like, no, he just threw that straight to Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
Man, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't take credit for this take. This is all, but it sums up the game perfectly. So for anybody who doesn't know who Brooks Austin is, he's incredible. He does a walk and talk after every Georgia game because he covers him and the Film Guy Network. They all cover Georgia. He said that post game, it felt like Georgia figured out at some point that Tech's not going to get in the end zone.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, so, okay, we're just going to go uber conservative. And I was like, that's exactly how I felt about this game, because it felt like, and I said it to the boys when we were watching the game, I was like, it feels like we've just gone really conservative because we're running the ball. I've never seen us do this many designed quarterback runs with Gunnar Stockton. I don't know where that came from or why, but that it kind of feels like the game got to a point where they're like, we can defense and go super vanilla and we'll probably win this game. And they did. And It was super boring to watch. It felt super awkward. It felt super weird. I know it was 16-9. I mean, it felt closer to that than me. Honestly, it felt like it was a 3-point ball game.
Sure.
But Georgia Tech just, they couldn't really run the ball. Haynes King had 181 yards passing, but they had 69 yards on 23 rushes. And that's unheard of for Georgia Tech. So it felt like Georgia just kind of went vanilla. Plus, they lost Drew Bobo in this game. So you lose your starting center.
And they were dealing with some stuff at the tackles, weren't they? At one point, they had, three freshmen in?
They had some injuries in this game, and it felt like at one point they're like, let's just get out of here. Let's just win this game and get out. And they did. And now they find themselves in the SEC title game.
Again, congratulations. Yeah. Well, story as old as time.
Kirby, 8 out of the last 10 years, has played in the SEC title game. That's awesome. But I don't love the fact that Georgia now has to go play Alabama with their starting center potentially out. He was in a walking boot on the sideline
with crutches.
Game. Bama lost Jam Miller tonight. He walked on crutches to the locker room.
And they lost Ryan Williams. So
did he even play?
No, I didn't see him. I didn't see him at all. Right? Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know what happened there.
We'll get there.
Yeah,
we'll get there.
This game, dude, clean old fashioned. This was literally the antithesis of what it was last year. Last year was just from a Georgia fan perspective. Last year was not healthy to watch, but from a objective, unbiased viewer, it was incredible. Sure. The 8 overtimes, the Georgia Storm's back, and then we get this year. It just felt disgusting. And then, like you said, the cherry on top of the game being absolutely gross is they moved it to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, and it's not Georgia Tech's fault. I understand it's the landscape of college football. If you're going to get that check, brother, you got to get that check because you got to compete. It was just gross. It was just gross. Whole game was just gross.
Private equity ruins everything. Invesco QQQ.
Yeah, they listen. You can call a game whatever you want to call it if you're on the broadcast or whatever you're supposed to call it according to whatever network you are on. But do not expect fans to do that because never in my lifetime will that game ever be the Invesco QQQ Gridiron Classic.
What is it? The Atlanta? Is it the Atlanta Gridiron Classic?
I don't care.
Yeah,
it's clean old-fashioned hate. It was always clean old-fashioned hate. It'll always be clean old-fashioned hate.
I'm with you.
I
hate it.
Like,
if
you're Invesco QQQ, honestly, take 15 minutes, Google it, and just call it Invesco QQQ or clean old-fashioned hate brought to you by Invesco QQQ.
Yep.
Do that. That'll go infinitely further with you than changing the name. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
It just pisses me off. It just pisses me off. It just pisses me off. Anyways, Georgia didn't play well, but they won the game.
Yeah.
They're going to Atlanta. They're going back to Atlanta.
Because of the team that we're about to talk about next, the Texas A&M Aggies. They traveled to Austin, and Joseph, I'll tell you, man, when the TV loaded up and this one started, and they showed Texas intro and they showed like the crowd shots of this one, I was like, oh gosh, I was like, I'm really worried for Texas A&M. Like the fans in Austin have obviously made this their Super Bowl. I mean, seriously, like they are. I mean, it was packed in there. The crowd shots were incredible. The Texas players, you could just feel a different energy coming from the people in burnt orange than you could like from Texas A&M, kind of looking up and like, so we wanted this rivalry back. We wanted to play here. Like you could kind of feel that. And as this game progressed, man, it became pretty apparent that Texas peaked at the exact wrong time. And I think from the moment that they beat Vanderbilt, I actually think losing the Georgia game is going to do Arch and Steve Sarkisian a lot of good in the future, because I think losing a game like that, they're now going to figure out how to beat a Georgia team. I don't think they would have done it if they would have just kind of gotten lucky, thrown it together, and maybe made the game close. Like I think it was a good thing that they got their shit kicked in, and then they got to play Arkansas, where they could kind of let Arch off the leash a little bit and let his weapons off the leash. It showed in this game, man. It was kind of like you watch, we watch these athletes, and we thought Arch was going to be this. He's not what everybody thought. But man, this felt like an important chapter, maybe a turning point chapter, or like, something that you, what am I thinking? What am I trying to think of? Probably like the middle of the book where you're like, the character is going through this part of the character development. I don't know. So
is this, and maybe you won't get this, maybe you will. Is this where you feel like you made it out of like the tutorial in the video game that you didn't know you were playing a tutorial? And then you're just like, yeah, sure. Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to, because I didn't get the same feel, because to be honest with you, watching this game, this felt like it's just big brother flexing on little brother again. It was like, hey man, listen, A&M, brother, you guys have had a great season, but
welcome.
We got to remind you who we are. Yeah. Welcome home. Welcome home. Like, welcome home for Thanksgiving. You're going to get choke slammed in the front yard. Listen, I know you've been running things at your fight club across town. I get it. But you ain't been to this fight club in the hometown. I know you went off to college. You put on some weight. You come back home. Big brother still choke slams you in the front yard. Yeah. That's just what it felt like to me. Like it felt like A&M had been great all year. And towards the end, the last couple of games, they played with fire a little bit with the South Carolina game. And in this game, it happened. It happened again. Marcel Reed, he threw 2 interceptions. You can't spot a team that had a rough year. Don't get me wrong. Texas has not had the best year, but is of equal talent and roster and is at home and has the history that they have against you.
Yeah.
I liken it to like when Ohio State and Michigan play. It's kind of like, hey, throw out how good these two teams have been up until this point. This game is standalone. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't look at that. A lot of people outside the state of Texas and a lot of people outside of this rivalry, in my opinion, probably don't look at this game like that because we didn't have it for 14 years, 10 years, 11 years.
Right.
Because when A&M joined the SEC, this game went away. So I think a lot of people forgot that, like, hey, this runs deep, really deep. So when you get to this point and you get to this game, you kind of throw out what these teams have been up to this point. This game is standalone. And there's certain games throughout the year that are like that. It's like the Georgia-Florida game, Ohio State-Michigan, the Auburn-Alabama, the Iron Bowl's like that, Texas-Oklahoma's like that. There are a handful of games throughout the year where it's like, hey, it doesn't matter how good Team A and Team B have been when they play.
Sure.
It's a totally like standalone. Everything goes out the window. But again, Texas I know the Georgia game, that feels like its own thing, that Sark just kind of has something over Kirby, or Kirby kind of has something over Sark.
I agree with you. Yeah.
But it doesn't help. It doesn't help that your quarterback threw 2 interceptions. Like Marcel Reed just didn't have his best game.
No, and
you lose by 10. You lose by 2 possessions.
Yeah.
You spotted Texas 2 possessions. They didn't. You lose by 10.
Yeah.
You're on the road. You can't afford to do that.
Do you put anything – now Texas A&M is obviously going to the college football playoff.
For sure.
Do you put anything into the graphic that everybody likes to show that Texas A&M, played the bottom half of the SEC besides Texas this year? Because I see that graphic and I think, well, that's not Texas A&M's fault that LSU sucked this year.
No,
that's not Texas A&M's fault that Auburn was awful. When I saw their schedule preseason, I thought, it's a pretty difficult schedule Texas A&M's rocking here. Like, look at this.
Yeah.
And now I think that's going to be used against them. I think they're going to be, what do you think? 6 seed, 7 seed, somewhere in there? I think it's
probably. I think it depends on what happens in the SEC title game.
Sure.
I really want to see how far. Also, it depends on what happens in the ACC title game. What happens in the Big 12 title game.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
So, if Texas A&M falls to 7th or 8th, I'm really interested in what happens between Georgia and Alabama. I'm really interested in what happens to Bama now that they beat Auburn. How far do they go up?
Yeah. First round bye out of the question for A&M for you?
First round bye, yeah. It's gone.
Okay.
First round bye is gone. Yeah, because you'll drop to at least 5, and then you won't have anything to further up your schedule over Georgia, Alabama, Texas A&M. Sorry, not A&M. Texas Tech.
Yep.
Teams like that. The teams that'll probably be ahead of you.
Yeah.
I'm
with you.
It really just depends on how far they fall.
So 3-loss Alabama. That's kind of my question is, where does Alabama slot in all of this? And then does Alabama jump enough to where they would be a first round bye before the SEC championship, and then afterwards, if they lose the SEC championship, is there a hope for a team to get a first round bye that doesn't play in a conference championship? Does that make sense? Am I missing
No,
there?
there's not hope. In my opinion, there's not hope for a team that doesn't play in a conference championship to make a first round bye, because how I see this shaking out is your top 2 teams are going to be Ohio State and Indiana. That's going to stay status quo regardless of the Big Ten title, unless Indiana just gets Wisconsin and they get 55-10, like Ohio State did that one year in the Big Ten title game. They're probably going to be 1-2 respectfully, depending on whoever wins, especially if it's competitive. Now, if Indiana loses by 4 touchdowns, they might drop to 4 or 5.
But both of them, because they're undefeated, have locked up their first round.
Yeah, they both finished 12-0. I don't see them dropping out of the top 4. Then Georgia jumps to 3, and Texas Tech, in my opinion, is going to jump to 4. And how that's going to shake out is probably some order of Ohio State, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
If Alabama beats Georgia, I think they'll jump to 4. And if Texas Tech beats BYU, I think it'll be Texas Tech and then Alabama at 3-4. And then 5 will probably be Georgia, because they lost the SEC title game. If they do, if that's how this shakes out.
Sure.
And then Texas A&M, and then the subsequent depending on what happens in the rest of the conference championship games. Now, I don't think Notre Dame can get a first round bye. There's no way.
They're ninth. It just doesn't. There's too much ground to make up.
Yeah.
They have
so
two losses. I look at Oregon and Texas A&M with one loss apiece, and I think you're right. I think it all depends on the conference championships. I'm looking at it, and at what point does only having one loss, at what point is that valued versus a 2-loss team that makes their conference title game and loses? I think that's where I'm at.
I think in order for you talking about those teams that are like at 6, 7, 8.
So Texas Tech has one loss, as you said. Oregon has one loss.
Yeah.
A&M has one loss.
Ole Miss has one loss.
Ole Miss has one loss, and then everybody beyond that has 2 losses or more, besides BYU.
Okay. So I think your only way that stretch of like one-loss teams get in there is if, like, say Ohio State or Indiana absolutely blows out the other one.
Yeah.
And then Texas Tech loses to BYU in the Big Ten.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
And then Georgia loses to Alabama in the SEC title game. Then I think you'd slot the winner of the Big Ten, and then probably like that stretch of one-loss teams would just get bumped up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm hesitant to say that because I don't think that's not what I would do, because in my opinion, however you set the bracket prior to the conference title games, barring the automatic qualifiers and things like that will shuffle the bracket, if your top 4 teams are playing in conference title games and will not get eliminated if they lose, your bracket's kind of set, in my opinion. Outside of like, if Alabama beats Georgia, I think Alabama should jump to 4 and get a first round bye, because that's 2 wins over Georgia, a win over 10-2 Vandy, a win over 8-4 Tennessee, a win over 8-4 Missouri. Like, I just, that resume is really good in my opinion. So, but I don't know what the committee's going to do. So I don't want to sit here and say, yeah, they won't do this, because I don't want to discount their ability to not punish a team just because we haven't seen them punish a team for losing a conference title game doesn't mean they won't. So, I think the only way to answer your original question, sorry, I kind of rambled there. I think the only way that a team like that those teams that are in that like one loss, not making the one loss, no conference title conversation, are as if you just have all of these conference champions, all these teams ahead of them lose their conference championship. And it's like, hey, you still made the playoff, but then again, like if you're Georgia and you lose to Alabama, or if you're Texas Tech and you lose to BYU, like, was it really worth it to lose your first round bye?
Yeah, understood.
Playing in your conference title game? I mean, obviously, from a competitor standpoint, and Matt pointed that out, Kirby has the right take. Of course, coaches feel totally different. And as a fan, like, I want Georgia, and I want that staff, and I want the players to want to win the SEC. I don't want them to want to avoid any games at all. But I'm a fan, so I'm thinking like, hey, secure that first round bye, and then don't play in the SEC title game. Like, but that's all done and gone. So, I mean, it sucks for Texas A&M. I saw some people tweeting out the graphic about Texas A&M with a win, 99%, with a loss, 99%. It's like, guys, I get it, but you've never played in the SEC championship game. You've never won the SEC, and you've been in the league for, 11, 12 years now. Like, Mike Elko wanted to beat Texas. Not just to make the SEC title game, but they wanted to beat Texas. Yeah, they want to be in that. They want to be in Atlanta. Like,
I saw people suggesting that A&M. At what point do they consider resting their starters versus Texas? I was like, it's the worst thing I've ever heard. It's basically equivalent to Pat Narduzzi walking out there and saying, "I don't care if we beat Notre Dame." He got what he deserved. But I'm good on A&M if you are.
I mean, I still think A&M's really good. I kind
Yeah, I
of
did
think
too.
I kind of think this is just it's Texas, and Texas had you at home, and they really got up for a rivalry game, and you got their best swing, and you did not have your best swing. So
yeah,
I think that's kind of what happened. I think Texas played hair on fire, big rivalry game, and your A&M, you lost the turnover battle. So
yeah.
I mean, time of possession was kind of even. They were both crappy on third down. They both 7 penalties to 8 penalties. Both had 19 first downs. Honestly, the big difference in this game was
Texas
the 2 turnovers.
Texas finally ran the ball too. I've been waiting on it all year.
Wisner
It
had
helped.
155 on the ground.
Yeah, it
So,
helps.
I mean, if you're Texas, that's nice, but
Arch's legs are a big factor as well. I don't think that can be overstated.
I'll tell you this much. Talking about this game, do you think Texas deserves a look at the playoff?
No, and here's why. Because I saw this argued today already, and it was a Texas fan. He started off his argument. He was like, "Let me just say this up front: we don't deserve to make the college football playoff." He's like, "I get it." He's like, "But if Texas doesn't make the college football playoff now, then the committee is de-incentivizing the scheduling and that's what I thought. They're de-incentivized. See, and I listened to the whole thing, and I heard the argument, and I was like, maybe that's a good point. And then I was like, maybe just don't lose to 4-8 now, Florida. Maybe just don't lose to 4-8 Florida. Like,
that's it.
Like, seriously, if you want to be taken care of, if you want to be taken seriously as a college football playoff contender, like if you had losses to Georgia and Ohio State, who are what? Are they 1-4? I'm sorry, in the ranking.
Probably going to be 1-3 now.
1-3. Yeah, you're in the college football playoff. Congratulations. Yeah. And you're still at 16, and you'll probably get bumped up to 15.
Well, no, you're if their 2 losses are only Ohio State and Georgia, they're probably like number 9.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Right now, even with a loss to 4-8 Florida, the committee's still giving you the respect of being at 16. And it's just don't lose to 4-8 Florida. I get it was in the swamp, but Florida really exposed like your team at that point. And no, Texas does not deserve a look at the college football playoff. They have some great wins. They beat Vanderbilt. Sure. They beat Texas A&M. Some of
they've got better wins than Ohio State.
Yeah, sure.
In my opinion, they've got better wins than Indiana.
Oklahoma. I forgot about Oklahoma. Like it's a great resume, but you lost 4-8 Florida, and then you lost 2 games that you I guess before the season weren't projected to lose, but you lost them. So
no, but like if you're looking at these losses, it's like, okay. And again, like I don't think the committee does a great job at valuing games like this. So that's obviously the angle that people are coming from when they say, "Oh, well, you just shouldn't schedule Ohio State." It's like you're not getting picked apart because you lost to Ohio State. You're getting picked apart because you lost to Florida.
Right.
That's your problem. Yeah. You lost to Florida, who ended up being 4-8 and firing their head coach, who's a good roster, and I'll give you that. That's a good roster.
Good defense, especially.
Same thing with wins against LSU, wins against like this Texas team, wins against Oklahoma. It's a good roster. There's not a good team.
Yeah.
And it's one thing if you would have lost, like if you're Texas and you would have beat Florida and then lost to this A&M team by like 3, maybe. Because then your losses are to 1, 3, and 4. It's like, I get that. Then you can probably start picking apart the Ohio State game. Like if you want to come to me and say, maybe we shouldn't schedule Ohio State because we're not going to get a playoff look because our games against the 1, 3, and 4 teams aren't being correctly valued.
Yeah, I get it.
Then I'll listen to you.
Yeah, sure.
But you're not being held back because you lost to 1 and 4. You're being held back because you lost to 4-8 Florida.
Right. And they Texas would be the 8th seed because if you look at without that loss to Florida, like that's where Oklahoma's at. So they would be right under Ole Miss and above Oklahoma. Oklahoma wouldn't even be in the playoff picture.
They'd have the head-to-head, like their resume comparison. They would have the head-to-head win over Oklahoma. They'd be in Oklahoma's spot.
Yeah.
So like
Oklahoma's such a cockroach, dude. Man, you just can't kill that stupid team, and they're not any good. 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 Their
offense isn't any good.
Yeah,
Their
their defense, sure,
isn't it?
their defense
Their
is world
defense is
class.
great.
I get that,
Defense is phenomenal.
and
Their offense.
it's kept them in games, and it's just I cannot believe that we're ending with this team at 10-2. And more than that, I can't believe that we're ending with this team as the number 8 team in the country because I don't want to say I don't
Do
want
you
to
want me
say
to
that.
tell you? Do you remember when we were on the show a few weeks ago, and I said, "You know how to fix this whole like playoff problem? Get rid of automatic qualifiers and just pick the 12 best teams." And you shook your
Yeah.
head no at me. It's teams like that Oklahoma team, and it's teams like the ACC champion this year that it's the reason I have that mindset because
Yeah.
odds are we're going to get those two teams. And specifically, I'm picking more on the ACC title, the ACC champion here, over like an 11-2 BYU team, who's wire to wire outside of playing Texas Tech, who spent a shit ton of oil money on their roster, has dominated their schedule.
Yeah.
So like
No,
that's where that mindset comes from for me.
I hear you, and it's gonna screw over my team. Like I hear you. Like
Yeah.
I'm
I
frustrated.
mean, I think
I'm frustrated as a
here's
fan. But
yeah.
again, you know what fixes all this? Just don't lose to Texas.
Don't lose to Florida.
Well, I'm saying Vanderbilt.
Oh, if you're
just you just
no,
don't
if you're
lose.
Vandy, yeah.
That's
Don't
I
lose to
hate,
Texas.
I hate to sit here and kind of like rag on my own team, but just don't do it. But anyways, we got to get moving because we're at 40 minutes and
sorry.
we still have quite no, it's okay. I started that, I started that rabbit hole as much as you did. Do you want to skip Oregon, Washington? Because I didn't watch a second of it.
We can. I watched it. Man, this felt like that game. Washington could have won that game. They really just kept shooting themselves in the foot. Like they had receivers open. Damon Williams was making plays. Their run game was there with Adam Muhammad.
Yeah.
Their receivers just dropped the ball, man. Like, so Washington had a chance to win that game. Really, what it come down to is like they had some pivotal moments where the receivers just dropped the ball. And Damon Williams was kind of running for his life, and he did what he did. He did what he could. Sorry, not did what he did. He did what he could. Oregon's just a better team.
Yeah, they are,
So,
and that's how they won this game. Even looking at like the box score, like that's just that's unfortunate for Washington. Washington had a great year, especially when you lose a guy like Kalen DeBoer to be as far along in rebuilding that program as they are, and especially since they're going to always have the advantage over some of these Big Ten teams that have to come to their place that are on the East Coast. I'm encouraged that Washington is back because I really did think Washington was like moving to a new conference. You instantly lose DeBoer. I was like, it's over. They're never. They may actually get back there. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I had a glimmer of hope when they hired Jed Fish because he did some good things at Arizona.
Yeah,
but they've been better than I thought, and I think part of that also is Damon Williams. It's kind of like, and they figured it out last year. They're like, we got something at quarterback here. So I mean, it also doesn't help that like their number one wide receiver and his name's escaped me. He played in this game, but he was a shell of himself, dude. Like he was.
I think
he was probably like 70%.
What's his name or what's his number?
I can't remember off the top of my head. Let me pull up the box score real quick because he did.
Desmond Roebuck, Decker, DeGraff,
Denzel Boston. Boston. He's the one that caught their 2 touchdowns. He's their number one wide receiver.
Yeah.
But he just like he wasn't fully healthy. So before we move on, I did want to point out Matt said Sark reminds me of politicking on Selection Sunday back in the BCS. Dude, he should. It's what any good coach should, man. Politic for your team.
That's what Lane did last year. Kalen DeBoer did it last year.
Same thing last year. Like, I mean, it's the same thing. Nick Saban did it at times.
Yeah.
Like,
sure. Yeah.
I think the year they lost 3 games with Bryce Young, he was like, nobody wants to see us. It's like, no, they don't. They really don't. But yeah. So, no, I mean, Oregon had some moments where it felt like they tried to give this game away, but they were just a better team than Washington. So
yeah. All right.
You want to move on to the game?
Yeah, the game. I'll lead here because I watched this game and I instantly knew that Ohio State was going to win this game. I'm dead serious. I watched this game and I watched Sayin throw that first pick, and Michigan had already got a field goal. I turned the game on as he was throwing the first pick.
Yeah,
a little late. I think I was getting lunch or something, and
Mm-hmm.
and then I watched one series of Michigan's offense, and I was like, oh. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
there is not a chance that Michigan's going to win this football game unless Julian Sayin gives them 4 more interceptions in
Yeah.
in Michigan territory. Like this Michigan team, the way that they were having to run offense, the way
Mm-hmm.
that they were having to move the ball up and down the field, there was not a chance that they were going to win this game. I know last year's Michigan team was worse on offense than this team. I guess on paper, because goodness gracious.
Oh no, they were worse. They were worse.
I know, but like this offensive performance right here is about as bad as it gets from a team like total yards standpoint. But
yeah.
I mean, Ohio State was just. I know Michigan's going to end at 9-3. Great season for them. Really good that they're now rebuilding successfully. I think they're exactly where you want to be. Like you're better than the mid teams in the Big Ten. But you're not. You're quite a ways off of the elites like Indiana and Ohio State. I think that's where you want to be as you trend really around Bryce Underwood for the next 2+ years. But yeah, there's not much to say other than like, hey, Ohio State had a better roster than them, and they did want to lose this game really, really bad. So
yeah, to play off that point, there was a moment watching this game where it was 3-0, and they picked off Julian Sayin, and they were down in the red zone, and I was like, Michigan's doing it again. It's like they're doing it again. And then they kicked a field goal. Yeah. And I was like, oh, Here we go. I was like, okay, here we go. And then the moment it was I think it was 10-6, I was like, Ohio State's finally going to do it.
Yeah.
I was like, they're going to play their game. They're going to play the way, and they played to their strengths. Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate, those are your strengths. Run game was solid. Bo Jackson had over 117 yards as a true freshman.
He did. He did.
Yeah. Julian Sayin, they flashed it on the graphic, was after he threw the pick, he was like 18 for 21 with like 2 touchdowns, over 200 yards. Yeah, man. I mean, this game played out the way it should have. Mm-hmm. It played out the way it should have.
Sure.
Ohio State is better than you this year. They are. But if you're Michigan, there's a couple of things. Going into this year, you're starting a freshman quarterback. You found out some things. You hit on your freshman quarterback. Bryce Underwood's really good, and he's going to be really good.
Wasn't great in this game, but
no, he wasn't. But I mean, like that Ohio State defense, yeah. I mean, they're giving up like 7.5 points a game.
Yeah.
7.6 or something like that. So you actually scored more than most people do. But the thing about it is, if you're Michigan, you knew what this year was. You ended up 9-3, 7-2 in the Big Ten. You've got to get better around Bryce Underwood. Like that is your focus. At the moment this game went final, you're going to play in a solid bowl game. That's great. You're not in the playoff. Your sole focus should be getting better around Bryce Underwood. How do we get better around Bryce Underwood?
Yep.
That's all you need. Keep the defense the standard because they were pretty solid this year.
Yeah.
Keep that same level next year. Get better around Bryce Underwood. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Like, you'll be fine. Ohio State, though, they finally didn't play Michigan's game.
No, they played Ohio
State football.
And I think a lot of that has to do with I haven't watched a whole lot of Julian Sayin this year just because they've been, blowing the doors off of teams. And it's just you turn on one quarter of a game, you're like, man, this is not going to be any fun to watch. Like this isn't going to be even close.
Yeah.
I think he's got a lot to do with how they're able to play on offense now. When you're watching Will Howard and you're watching Kyle McCord in previous years, you can kind of see that Ryan Day is taking the training wheels off of Julian Sayin, where I think that Will Howard and Kyle McCord. Now they're very different quarterbacks, but they both
Yeah,
had these flaws that were specifically highlighted in a game like the game. And now you get this Saiyan kid in, and he's just everything you want. I mean,
he's surgical, dude.
He's the full package as far as throwing the ball. So I think Saiyan had more to do with this win specifically than any he's quarterbacked so far, where he throws an early pick. It's a bad pick. It's what it is. And then he locks in and he lets his superior talent on the edge. You know, he lets them work, but he also he was putting balls in just perfect spots today. So
he's surgical, dude. He's surgical. He's really good. I don't think he should win the Heisman this year.
I don't either.
Personally, I just not because of anything he's done, but I just think there have been, and I wouldn't argue against somebody saying Diego Pavia, but I think Fernando Mendoza.
I agree with you. He's going to win it.
I would have Fernando Mendoza and I would have Diego Pavia above Julian Saiyan, not because of anything Julian Saiyan's done or because of stuff he hasn't done, because he's done what he's been asked to do. Like, to me, he's really, really methodical and really surgical and incredibly accurate.
Yep.
He's also throwing to the best receiving core in the nation, which is not a penalty against him. And it's not me discounting his ability, because I've seen worse quarterbacks, or I've seen better quarterbacks not be able to do that. So he's going to be really good, because he's probably going to be there next year too. He's definitely going to be there next year. Yeah, he can't leave. I'm not there yet on the Heisman. Maybe if he carves up Indiana and just and Fernando Mendoza just gets totally sworn by the Ohio State defense, then I'll probably hop on that train. But I don't know.
Yeah, but Diego Pavia,
but he's really good. I mean, it's not a shot at Julian Saiyan. By no means am I trying to I wouldn't, if somebody also told me and they're like, yeah, Julian Saiyan's my Heisman winner, I'm not going to be like, why? Right. I get it.
Yeah. No, I watching him today, I understand. I understand.
Yeah.
Like I understand now, and I'm good. I'm good with that. I do think that conference championship is going to be the battle for the Heisman, because Pavia is not playing in one, and neither is Jeremiah Love, who in my mind are the 4 finalists. If you want to, I think those are the four guys. So
yeah, I think your last spot was probably between Pavia and Marcel Reed. And after the game that Reed had against Texas and the game that Pavia had against Tennessee, I'd give the nod to Pavia. I know Texas, that's a better defense than Tennessee, but yeah.
Well, let's see. Do we want to transition to the Tennessee Vanderbilt game then? Because that is the 3:30 game on today's slate. Okay.
Yep.
All right. Let me just say, I want to get this out there.
Mm-hmm.
I can't tell you how much this game means to me, because forever I have heard that when they're talking about conference realignment and they're doing fictional stuff on Twitter and YouTube and stuff like that, like how to fix the conferences, how to how to fix the super conference era, Vanderbilt always gets left in the SEC. Do you know the reason why?
Why?
Because they're a founding member. But that's it. That's all they ever say is Vanderbilt's a founding member. You can't kick them out.
Yeah.
Well, today we are not only a founding member, we're better than a lot of you. We're better than the team that shares the namesake of the state that we're located in. We're much better than that team. And it means,
go ahead, man. I mean, you've earned.
No, I'm continuing to go. It means a whole heck of a lot to me that this team was able to produce this result. Now, whether they get in the college football playoff this year or not, I'll be honest, I really don't care. I really don't. 10-2 with a win at Tennessee. Awesome. Do I think they deserve to be in the playoff? I do. I personally do, but I'm a fan. So, of course, I'm going to say that.
Mm-hmm.
But now we have a 10-2 football team. Our basketball team just got done beating St. Mary's by 30 Women's basketball is undefeated. I don't follow baseball at all, but I know they're good.
Yeah, that's been your best sport for like the last 10 years.
I don't follow it.
They've been damn good.
Yeah. Welcome to Nashville. Tennessee, Clark Lee just signed a 6-year extension. I mean, next year we go back to First Bank.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Brandon Faison, maybe he's the answer.
I mean,
apparently we're going to flip Jared Curtis. I don't know about that, but apparently we're doing it. Apparently.
Dude, I mean, listen, I'll tell you this much. Steve Wiltfong predicted the flip. That man doesn't miss very often, hardly ever. I think he has like an over 90% crystal ball percentage or whatever.
Yeah.
So you probably are going to flip Jared Curtis.
We got the number 3 linebacker in the 2027 class today.
Yeah, man. I mean, Vanderbilt's on the up. Our boy Greg is he said history has to count for something. 1 year is nice. And then he asked if the renovations will be done. I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. If the renovations led to the 10-2 season, you just kind of perpetually keep those going.
Yeah.
You just do it like play at the construction site.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, to get back to the game, like this was part of the reason I picked Vanderbilt in the game or in the preview is because you guys have been the more consistent team all year. And I thought you'd be able to move the ball. I don't know how many Tennessee fans are still in love with their DC. Because this game was 21-21 at the half. And the second half was just not even close.
And looked like Tennessee didn't have an answer. Not that Vanderbilt was making tremendous plays or that Diego Pavia was just peak of his powers. It was, all right, well, we're going to line up and we're going to execute pretty well. And Tennessee's just going to kind of let us through here. And maybe they'll make they'll get some pressure here and there. But beyond that, I can't believe how easy it was to run the ball in Tennessee. I really cannot believe that. What was it? I think it was almost 300 yards rushing. Maybe it may have been 300 yards rushing.
Let me look.
It was 300. Yeah, 314. Yeah.
165 from Pavia, 115 from Cedric Alexander.
I really thought the Tennessee defensive line was at least going to quell that a little bit. I didn't think they'd stop it, but I just cannot believe how easy it was in the second half just to line up. And you could tell that when this game got 38-24, it was like Tennessee's soul got snatched directly out of them. Like you could tell they were kind of waning on the ropes there. Mike Matthews drops that ball. I don't know if this game's different if he catches that. I really don't. I think it has to count for something that the game is a little bit closer there. And you're like the fans know that, you feel that energy. Maybe.
Yeah.
I really don't know. But when that touchdown put them up 14 happened, it was like, man, Tennessee they just threw in the towel. So yeah, I hear you, Greg. When history counts a whole heck of a lot, there's a lot of history to be made up for. I hear you.
But you get to soak this in for the next 360, however many days.
I'm excited. We own the state of Tennessee for right now. So if we give it back, we give it back.
Listen, man,
it's been an awesome year.
As someone whose school also has an in-state rival, you run the state. Feels good.
Yeah, feels good.
Feels good. So, yeah. That leads us with one last game. Drew, I know we didn't cover all the games that we did in the Core Elite 8.
What did we miss?
We didn't talk about Miami Pitt. Miami blew out Pitt, dude.
Darn.
Like,
yeah. I watched the game. You guys don't need to know what happened.
Listen,
Pitt is bad.
Listen, I picked Pitt because I was like, I don't want my boy Drew to ride on this Pitt train alone. And also, listen, preseason, man, we had him in the ACC title game. I was like, Pitt Panthers. Let's ride and see what happens. And they rode straight into a brick wall when they played Miami today and just got, hit upside the head with a baseball bat. So, yeah, I don't really want to talk about it, but that game wasn't close. Congratulations, Miami. You're not playing in the ACC title game. You probably should be.
But you will make the college football playoff because the talent of
Maybe
your
not.
roster. They will. The talent of this roster, like everybody's just shoehorning them in, which I can't stand.
How
because
would they though?
How would they?
Like,
well, surely. I mean, I just think they're gonna. I think they're. That's a good question. I mean, that is a great question. I mean, right now they're sitting.
Right now they're
12? Oh, they're 12.
No, in the college football playoff rankings, they are 12th. They are the first team out.
Yeah.
So, who ahead of them is going to fall? Texas A&M's not going to follow behind them.
I think they have to count on BYU losing to Texas Tech, because I do think if BYU loses to Texas Tech twice, especially if BYU loses in convincing fashion, if they lose by double digits, multiple touchdown scores, I think they're going to get knocked out of the college football playoff entirely.
Hear me out. The committee rankings come out. Ohio State, Indiana, Georgia, Texas Tech, Oregon, Ole Miss, Oklahoma, Texas A&M, Alabama, BYU, Vanderbilt.
I don't know, dude. I think
Miami.
I think they're going to jump Utah. I don't think they're going to jump Miami. I really don't. They handled Tennessee convincingly, and that's important. It is, but I mean, if the committee really wanted Vanderbilt in, they would have had them up around where they've had Oklahoma. Like, I think Vanderbilt's a better team than Oklahoma. I don't think there's a question in my mind that Vanderbilt's better than Oklahoma, but the committee's had a chance to do that. I don't see it changing now. So
yeah, I'm kind of
that's sad, but I mean, like Greg said, history does have to count for something. I think if Vanderbilt is going to be a player in the college football landscape moving forward, I think they kind of got to wait their turn. I'm not gonna lie. I think I'm not. Mm-hmm. I hate that as a fan. I really do. But you're not a blue chipper. You don't have any historical program.
Yeah, you don't get the brand benefit.
Yeah,
you don't get the brand. You don't get the brand benefit.
And I can sit here and I can whine about that, and I can be like, "Well, this is crap." Like, but at the end of the day, like, they do this all the time, and it benefits different teams. Normally it benefits Alabama. Always, but or Georgia or whoever.
Well, whatever. I was about to say the only teams ahead of Vanderbilt right now that wouldn't get like brand bias is BYU and Utah, because their brands, they just don't pull the same way.
Even Utah is getting the stupid Whittingham bonus this year. Like, I mean, Utah is. I mean, they struggled with Kansas on Black Friday.
They did,
and
I could see you jumping Utah.
That's what I think happened. Though, I think we jump Utah. I think we stay behind Miami.
If BYU, in my opinion, personally, I can't see dropping BYU out of the playoff for Miami when BYU is playing in an optional game against a team they've already played. And if they lose, then they will have a matching record to Miami. I can't see replacing Miami with BYU and being like, well, we felt like Miami, who sat at home, gets this shot. Like, to me, it should be like, once you get to the top 12, like, let's just play this off of what it is now. Okay. So Ohio State and Indiana are in.
Yep.
A&M, Georgia, Texas Tech are all in. I think Texas Tech's in even with a loss in the Big 12 title game.
Agreed.
Oregon's in, Ole Miss is in, Oklahoma's in, Notre Dame's in. Notre Dame's beating Stanford 35-3, so they're in.
No worries there.
Alabama's in because they beat Auburn tonight. So really what this comes down to is BYU versus Miami, because your ACC conference winner, Virginia, probably, dear God.
Hopefully. Because
here's the thing.
We got a mess. We got a mess if not.
No, we don't. Because if it's not Virginia, then it's Tulane and JMU.
Why would it be them over Miami? Why would Miami not make it in that scenario?
Because they're not an automatic qualifier. Miami holds the 12 spot. Miami is at 12.
I'm tracking.
So they are the first team out.
Yep.
Because
forgot. Yep.
because that spot would go to the G5 qualifier.
Yep.
And then the next highest ranked conference champion, if Virginia loses to Duke, would be JMU.
Yep. That's still that's a mess, and they'll write as many you want on.
Now here's the thing, like
auto qual's gone, that'll do it. 2 G5 teams get in.
If Duke beats Virginia and Duke makes it in, and then Duke and Tulane get blown out in the first round, you will see the death of automatic qualifiers
like that, and we'll go to 16. We'll go to 16 teams because
you'll see the death of automatic qualifiers for the G5.
Yeah.
Probably. And you'll say, hey, you can get in here, but you have to be a top 12 team.
Yeah.
Like you have to be an at-large team.
Yeah.
Which to me doesn't make any sense. Just get rid of automatic qualifiers at that point.
Sure.
And just be like, hey, it's just top 12 teams.
Yeah.
So
interesting. Hey, fun thought experiment. Man, and I think but anyways, I think we were about to talk about Auburn, Alabama.
We were.
Look, man, it's Iron Bowl. It's the Iron Bowl. Like every year, I feel like for the past, 4 or 5 years, I feel like Alabama should walk in here and elephant stomp Auburn. And every year they don't. And I feel like I saw a little something from Ashton Daniels tonight, but not enough to where I thought, man, Ashton Daniels, hero of the Iron Bowl, really outplayed Alabama. No, I mean, this was just classic Iron Bowl. The game was close because it was close. And it was, Alabama just made more plays than Auburn when it comes down to it. I mean, that's it. I mean, they made more plays.
Alabama's defense made more plays.
Yeah, well, sure, but I mean, DeBoer hanging his nuts out there and going for it on 4th down in a rivalry game. Sure, that's borderline reckless, but trust. I mean, hey, he did it in the Missouri game. He trusted Ty Simpson then, and he's been pretty clear throughout this entire process that if he feels like that they need a momentum boost or that a field goal may be out of reach for them and it's 4th and 8 or less, he's going to go. He's been very consistent, and he stayed consistent here. And Ty Simpson threw for 122 yards. And Alabama, the numbers look a little bit better today, but they still can't run the ball at all. They cannot run the ball at all. And they just lost Jam Miller, who was the only.
They potentially lost Jam Miller.
Yeah. So
you don't know how long he's going to be out, but
hey, for Auburn, if I'm Auburn's brass, go ahead and hire DJ Durkin. I don't know what Durkin's going to look like as a head coach, but man, you said it at the beginning of the show. What move are you going to make that's going to, one, potentially keep some of your high school recruits, but also keep the players that are already on your roster? What move are you going to make? Because if DJ Durkin isn't the answer, I got some news about your receiving core. I got some news about your skill positions. Like you're going to be, I think it's in Moneyball. What does he say? New York is taking our kidneys, Boston or something like that. Boston's taking our liver, something like that. I mean, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen here to this Auburn Tigers roster. And much was made about Deuce Knight, the 5-star, maybe playing in this game. That didn't end up happening, which good. Thank goodness you didn't decide.
I don't know how much better he would have been.
Well, not that he would have been so much better, but like second career start and your first career start was versus Mercer. Seems like a bad idea. Yeah. So, man, it was the Iron Bowl. It was exciting, and it's crazy. This one had me glued to the television almost more than any game this year, and it was like a bottom 10 Iron Bowl in my lifetime. So weird.
I mean, it again. I think you sum it up perfectly there. It's this game in what was starting to lean towards being a blowout, and was starting to lean towards, Alabama's just a superior team here, turned into a classic Iron Bowl where it's like, Auburn's not dead yet. Auburn's not dead. They find a way, and that defense steps up, and Alabama, for whatever reason, stalls on offense sometimes. And then, like, I don't know how to analyze and evaluate this Alabama team. I really don't.
Nobody
Because
knows.
I don't know what I'm going to get on a consistent basis from
Sure.
them. I don't. I just.
Well, to that point, I mean, I think they played their worst game possible versus Oklahoma, and they lost by 3 points. I think that was if you play that game 10 times, that's that game right there is the F- outcome for Alabama, where they're slinging it all over the field. They're throwing turnovers, which is the one thing that you can't have against Oklahoma, because that's how that stupid cockroach team stays in the game. I mean, that's going to be my name, the Oklahoma Cockroaches, going forward, because they almost should have lost to LSU tonight. Goodness gracious.
They probably should have.
Really should have. If LSU had anybody under center who could do anything with the football, it would have been an Oklahoma resounding loss. But
yeah, you want to know something disgusting? I took the under in that game. You know what the under was?
42.5?
36.5.
Ooh, boy.
And it hit.
Yeah.
If that tells you how gross that game was.
Yeah.
It was it was disgusting, man. And I knew it was going to be disgusting because LSU is starting Michael Van Buren, and Oklahoma's offense is just.
Question for you. You may know this. Is Nussmeier hurt? Or they're just done with him?
No, they're just Yeah, they just benched him.
What?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Well, I mean, is he hurt? He's been hurt all year.
Right. So is this a mutual
thing? Did they
thing
finally I don't know. Behind the scenes, I have no idea. All I know is that he got benched, I think, in the Alabama game.
In the Alabama game, yeah, I remember.
And they were like, we're going with Van Buren the rest of the way. And sure. It doesn't matter. Neither one of those guys is going to be there when Lane gets there next year. It's going to be Austin Simmons.
Yeah.
Or Trinidad Chambliss.
One of the two.
Or Taylon Green, if he finds another year of eligibility.
DJ Lagway.
Could be.
I'm just kidding. I think Lagway will stay with Summerall coming in.
I think Florida is going to probably end up hiring John Summerall. So that's not official, but like reports have said that he's the leader in the clubhouse.
Yeah, with Summerall coming in, I think he stays. I mean, Lagway's value has gone down tremendously this year, so I don't see a better job out there for him. So, man, it was a fun weekend in college football, but probably not the rivalry week that people expected, because we really weren't treated to a whole lot of upsets this week in rivalry week.
Mostly just a lot of close, like, sweater games.
Sure.
Like, outside of, like, Texas was probably the biggest upset.
Yeah. But even that,
I'm kind of with you. Like Georgia Tech was close. The Egg Bowl wasn't really close. The Iron Bowl was close. Obviously, Texas A&M.
Vandy, Tennessee was close for a little bit.
Vandy, Tennessee was good in the first half. The second half was
just a bad game. Yeah,
kind of. Yeah, it was
one-sided.
Oregon, Washington was really good, in my opinion. That was a really good game.
Hated I didn't get to watch that.
You missed one of the better games of the weekend, in my opinion.
Okay,
between Oregon and Washington, not from a lights out football standpoint, but just from the weight of every play, because Oregon won by 12, but it never really felt like they pulled away in that game.
Sure.
So,
yeah, I had the Oklahoma game up because Vanderbilt needed
God
Oklahoma.
Bless me, brother.
Well, they needed them to lose. I had it on mute. Don't worry. I just kind of look over that team. Yeah. It's 4th and 32 right now. Wow. Wonder how we got there.
I guess
Arizona beat Arizona State. That's the small upset.
But it's Arizona State starting Jeff Sims.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Arizona had a good year.
Arizona had a really good year. 9-3.
Yeah, I'll take one more victory lap on Arizona State.
You could be seeing Arizona in a bowl game.
Yeah,
Vandy.
Yeah, that's true. If they get a bowl game that's close, I'll go again. I went to the Birmingham Bowl that they played Tech in last year.
No, you'll probably get like a New Year's Six bowl.
Yeah, no, I know, but
because that's
what I'm saying. If it's close,
I'll
go.
Every team ahead of you in the SEC is going to make the playoff, right? Georgia, Bama, Ole Miss, A&M.
Yeah, we're the
so you'll get the
odd 10-2 team out.
Yeah, you'll get the SEC's at large, New Year's Six non-playoff New Year's Six bowl bid.
Yeah,
so you'll probably be playing like potentially BYU or Miami,
Yeah.
somebody like that. So
Like I said, if it's close, I'm there. I'd love to go. Again, the
could be the
Birmingham
Chick-fil-A
Bowl,
Bowl in Atlanta.
dude. The Birmingham Bowl was a blast. That stadium
Yeah.
is awesome. It's too bad
Yeah.
UAB plays there. It's too bad.
All right, Drew. Well, brother, this is the last night chat for the year.
Kind of. Yeah, I mean, maybe
Like,
maybe
well,
we can do one for the first round of the playoffs or something like that. Who knows?
well, that's the thing is like I think I'm out of town next week for conference title games, and I'm out of town the week of the first round of playoffs.
Oh man,
So I'm
brutal.
yeah. So I think outside, we could probably do a reaction show like on the second round of playoffs, like around New Year's Day. Yeah, we could do a night chat on like New Year's Day. So this last one for the year.
Yeah.
Last one
This
for the year.
isn't goodbye yet. It's just see you later.
It's just
for right now.
we'll be back in a little bit. That being said, man, Saturday stud stickers. Do you want to give one for the day, and then do you want to give one for the season?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
Let's see.
I'm gonna have to think. I think I've got my.
Yeah, I don't mine. You know what? I got mine because
I've got my one for the day.
Okay, I've got mine. I think for the day. Well, I mean, being today and yesterday, like we're lumping Friday and Saturday in together. I've got mine for Friday if you're ready.
Okay, I'm ready.
Trinidad Chambliss was my Saturday stud sticker for the weekend.
Okay.
Brother balled out 23 of 34, 359 yards and 4 touchdowns. And he sends Lane Kiffin out with an 11-win regular season, and a trip to the playoffs.
Trinidad did his job, stepped up. I know they talk about him going to Ferris State all the time because that's just, I guess that's the only interesting thing about him. But man, he is a upper echelon SEC quarterback and an upper echelon college football quarterback. And in a different world where Austin Simmons is on some other team, Trinidad Chambliss is fighting tooth and nail for the Heisman as we get down the stretch. So as far as one for the day, mine comes from today. I don't know if I'd call this a rivalry game, mainly because I don't know if it is, because there's so many teams in this state. It comes from Houston Baylor, a game that I don't know. I really don't know if this is a rivalry game. I have no idea. If anybody knows that's still watching, because I know it's 12:52.
I would think it probably is. Yeah.
Sure. Maybe I was kind of thinking, is this a rivalry game or is this just a game that they play because they're located near one another and it's technically a rivalry because of that?
And a Big 12 game.
Yeah, I don't know. But mine's Connor Wegman. He was discarded kind of rightfully for Marcel Reed off of Texas A&M. I'm not going to say that Wegman was done dirty or anything like that. It was just time for a change for A&M last year. But 121 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns, 201 through the air, and a touchdown there as well. I watched this one mainly because I was very interested in the over-under for the chat slip, which 4-0 in the last 4 weeks. Let's go,
dude.
Yeah, I know. I realized I got to 500, and I was like, man, I'm losing anybody that's ever looked at this money by that. So, yeah, Connor Wegman. Appreciate you balling out, but not balling out too much for the overhit. So, yeah, that's my one for the day. Do you want me to snake for the season?
Go for it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. All right. For the season, I think my Saturday stud sticker. Oh man, goodness. Now I look at this, I don't think this is a great idea. Well, of course, I want to give it to Diego Pavia. Of course, I want to give my Saturday stud sticker to Diego Pavia, and so I will. I will. Dude, I just can't believe that my team had a
season stud sticker.
Yeah, season stud sticker. That's perfect. Yeah. I just can't believe that my team had a player like this on it. I mean, I have sat through so many years of not even hardly watching the games, like finding them on ESPN Plus, maybe we get SEC Network, losing to FCS teams, losing to Colorado State. And then it just, this guy who he doesn't really have a discernible elite skill. He's not overly fast. He doesn't have a huge arm. He's not overly accurate. But he comes in and instantly you watch him. If you were first time watching football, you just know he's the most important player on the field when he's on the field. Regardless of what the stats say or whatever postseason awards he wins, Diego Pavia is my season stud sticker because of what he meant to Vanderbilt. And he got Vanderbilt to the first 10-win season in program history. I mean, come on. That's awesome, right? I mean, maybe it's just awesome to me. But
no, it's incredible.
If he gets a 7th year of eligibility, so be it. I'll be there ready, and I'll watch every second of his career. Whatever NFL team that he joins, if that ever happens, I'll be there. I'll at least, if they release a jersey, I'll at least get one of those. But Diego Pavia, you killed it this year. Over 3,000 yards through the air, 800 yards on the ground. I think he ranks 3rd in the FBS in total touchdowns for quarterbacks. So there is my season stud sticker.
Perfect. I love it. Absolutely love it. I'm going to go with who I would vote for as a Heisman if I had a Heisman vote. I think. I think. I think I'm going to give my season stud sticker to Jeremiah Love.
Nice, dude. That was going to yes, nice.
Yeah, he, started off the season rough against Miami with only 33 yards. Same against Texas A&M, 94 yards, but on 23 carries. Since then, dude, he's been lights out. 157, 103, 228 against USC. That's just nuts, dude. He's got 1,300 on the year on 185 carries, averaging just over 7.1 yards a carry and 17 rushing touchdowns. He's almost 300 receiving yards on the season. He's just a stud, man. He is the definition of season stud. He's by far and away, in my opinion, the best player on Notre Dame's team. And he racked up these stats splitting carries with a pretty damn good running back in Jadarian Price. Like, if he was the sole guy, I think he might be over 2,000 yards, barring injury. So, yeah, I'm going to give it to Jeremiah Love. I think he's been absolutely phenomenal this season for Notre Dame. I think he'll be phenomenal for them going into the playoffs. And I think he's really helped take a lot of pressure off of, them starting a first-year quarterback in CJ Carr. So, season stud sticker for me, Notre Dame's own Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, great pick. I think those two picks right there, maybe the two guys that are most deserving of the Heisman that won't win it. So, hey, fist bump. I think we did good there.
Yes, sir.
Dude, Night Chat has been, hey, it's tested the sleep schedule. I know I was gone for the last 2 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, it was much needed on Saturday. But man, it has been an incredibly fun experience to bring you these. We will see you in 2026. Please subscribe to the Chat It Up Sports YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. I think we have a LinkedIn as well. For Rivalry Week, we dropped, man, that is hard to say. We dropped 8 different videos. So if you haven't seen those, please go check those out. I know they're just matchup previews, but there's some good stuff in there. I think there's a One Tree Hill review in the Texas A&M Texas preview. We talk about TV shows and stuff like that. And then today, actually, I dropped the first episode of the Eye Test. So if you have any interest in the NBA, check that out because it's short and it won't be a huge time investment. It's literally just recorded whenever I've got the time to do it. So exciting things for Chat It Up Sports. For myself and Joseph, we will see you, I believe, in the second round of the playoffs.
Probably New Year's Day. So
yeah,
have a good one.